Is Monday, June 10th, 2024. I'm still getting whatever it is that I have. It's just a feeling of ickiness. So I apologize because I certainly look icky this morning. But we are going to read Joshua chapter 18. Now, I had told my regular people that I wouldn't be on until much later in the morning because I had an 9 o'clock. It was a phone appointment, and about 15 minutes ahead of time, I received a text saying that the appointment was rescheduled for tomorrow. So, very good chance I will be on late tomorrow. But I'm here now, and so thank you for being here for the replay. And if anybody pops in, then great. If anybody pops in live, then great. Remember to subscribe and hit the bell notification. That way you will be notified the moment I go live or if I post a video of any kind. So today we are reading Joshua 18 and then just going to go through some headlines. We won't spend much time on it. Hey, Miss Trudy. Yes, I had told you yesterday that I had a phone appointment at 9 o'clock, and so I wasn't planning on being here at that time, but I got a text 15 minutes, like around 8:45, saying that it was rescheduled for tomorrow. So I will probably be late tomorrow. Let's see, do I have any coffee left? No, I drank it all. Goodness, that's not good. But, you know, I always have a backup of something. All right. Joshua 18, New King James Version. Now the whole congregation of the children of Israel assembled together at Shiloh. Shiloh is basically in the Bible, well, it's a city, but the definition is something like tranquility, peace, etc. But anyway, they assembled together at Shiloh and set up the tabernacle of meeting there. So the tabernacle had been, I think, in Gilead, and they have moved it now to Shiloh, which, if I remember correctly, is in the area of land that was allotted to Ephraim, if I'm not mistaken. All right. And the land was subdued before them. Okay. But there remained among the children of Israel 7 tribes which had not yet received their inheritance. Then Joshua said to the children of Israel, "How long will you neglect to go and possess the land which the Lord God of your fathers has given you? Pick out from among you 3 men for each tribe, and I will send them. They shall rise and go through the land, survey it according to their inheritance, and come back to me. And they shall divide it into 7 parts. Judah shall remain in their territory on the south, and the house of Joseph shall remain in their territory on the north. You shall therefore survey the land in 7 parts, and bring the survey here to me, that I may cast lots for you here before the Lord our God. But the Levites have no part among you, for the priesthood of the Lord is their inheritance. And Gad, Reuben, and half the tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance beyond the Jordan on the east, which Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave them." Then the men arose to go away, and Joshua charged those who went to survey the land, saying, "Go, walk through the land, survey it, and come back to me, that I may cast lots for you here before the Lord in Shiloh." So the men went, passed through the land, and wrote the survey in a book in 7 parts, by cities, and they came to Joshua at the camp in Shiloh. Then Joshua cast lots for them in Shiloh before the Lord, and there Joshua divided the land to the children of Israel according to their divisions. So, now the lot of the tribe of the children of Benjamin came up according to their families, and the territory of their lot came out between the children of Judah and the children of Joseph. Their border on the north side began at the Jordan, and the border went up to the side of Jericho on the north, went up through the mountains westward. It ended at the wilderness of Beth Aven. The border went over from there toward Luz, to the side of Luz, which is Bethel, southward, and the border descended to Ataroth Adar, near the hill that lies on the south side of lower Beth Horon. Then the border extended around the west side to the south, from the hill that lies before Beth Horon southward, and it ended at Kirjath Baal, which is Kirjath Jearim, a city of the children of Judah. This was the west side. I know, we need a map. I will post a map when this is over. I'll use it as the little thumbnail. The south side began at the end of Kirjath Jearim, and the border extended on the west and went out to the spring of the waters of Nephtoah. None of this means anything to us. We have no idea where these places are. I mean, I know where the Jordan River is. I know where the Dead Sea is. I have an idea about, of course, I know where Lebanon is and Mount Hermon and all of that, but I think the whole point of this is to have it on record of the places that God did give the children of Israel. Alright, so then the border came down to the end of the mountain that lies before the valley of the son of Hinnom, which is in the valley of the Rephaim. Okay, and a note says here that the Rephaim are giants. On the north, descended to the valley of Hinnom, to the side of the Jebusite city, on the south, and descended to En-Rogel. And it went around from the north, went out to En-Shemesh, and extended toward Gileath, which is before the ascent of Adumim, and descended to the stone of Bohan the son of Reuben. Then it passed along toward the north side of Arabah, and went down to Arabah. And the border passed along to the north side of Beth Hoglah. Then the border ended at the north bay at the Salt Sea, which is the Dead Sea, at the south end of the Jordan. This was the southern boundary. Just a few more verses. The Jordan was its border on the east side. This was the inheritance of the children of Benjamin, according to his boundaries, all around, according to their families. Now the cities of the tribe of the children of Benjamin, according to their families, were Jericho, Beth Hoglah, Emek Keziz, Beth Arabah, Zemaraim, Bethel, Avim, Para, Ophrah, Sephar Hamoni, Ophni, and Gaba, 12 cities with their villages. Gibeon, Ramah, Beeroth, Mizpah, Chephirah, Mozah, Rekem, Irpeel, Tarala, Zelah, Eleph, Jebus, which is Jerusalem, Gibeath, and Kirjath, 14 cities within their villages. This was the inheritance of the children of Benjamin according to their families. Whew. So there we have it, Joshua 18. That is riveting reading, isn't it? But like I said, I think it's just putting it on record exactly the places that belong to them. Now we know that later on, after the death of Solomon, the kingdom is split in two, where you have Judah and then you have what is known as Israel. But Judah also, if I remember correctly, Judah also included Benjamin. So Judah and Benjamin become one territory, and then the rest are considered Israel. But that is much later in time. And so, like I said, I'll find a map and post it as the thumbnail on this. Let's just go through a few headlines. Well, I've had like 3 cups of coffee already. And I had mentioned before you came on here that I'm still not feeling great. And you can tell by looking at me, but that's okay. All right. And my lighting's a little off today again, so I'm sitting beside the window so that I can have at least a little bit of natural light. I'm just going to read the headlines. If something in particular sticks out to us, I may look into it further and do another video about it. Which I don't know, Miss Trudy, if you're aware of this, but I do put out other videos, you know, on specific topics. I just don't go live with it, but they're just a normal video that I post. So if you hit the notification bell where it says subscribe, and then there should be like a little bell out beside it, then it will let you know when it's posted. Okay, you do. Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah, I haven't posted very many. All right. Ted Cruz is accusing Biden and the Dems for funding the death squads on October 7th. Meaning those that attacked Israel on October 7th, and of funding the war that's been waged against Israel every day since then. It's indisputable, he argued. There has been a mountain highway connecting Idaho and Wyoming that collapsed in a catastrophic landslide. The road connecting Victor, Idaho with Jackson, Wyoming was closed at the time because of a mudslide in another area, so no one was injured in the collapse on Saturday. So that's at least good, that no one was actually on the road. Governor Jeff Landy said Monday he would like to speak with his Texas counterpart about the possibility of sending more National Guard troops to the border. Jeff Landry is Louisiana's governor. Whether the pandemic started on a lab bench or in a market stall, it is undeniable that U.S. federal funding helped to build an unprecedented collection of SARS-like viruses at the Wuhan Institute, as well as contributing to research that enhanced them, Advocates and funders of the Institute's research, including Dr. Fauci, should cooperate with the investigation to help identify and close the loopholes that allow such dangerous work to occur. If anybody still thinks this was a freak of nature, they really need to do their research here. I don't know what to tell you. Iran has submitted their presidential election candidates, which happens later this month. As you may recall, Iran's president, Raisi, was killed in a helicopter crash back in May, and so now they're needing to replace him. The Senate blocks a Trojan horse bill targeting the rights of parents, Christians, and the unborn. So from what I gather on this is that with the wording, you know how they will submit a bill, but in the bill will be hidden. They will hide other little agendas in the middle of it to try to get it passed. Because, you know, maybe they'll vote on the main thing that the bill's about. So they sneak in something else so that it gets passed as well, you know. But apparently this was something that has to do with minors undergoing transgender surgeries, receiving puberty blockers, and having abortions without parental consent. Okay. Europe shifts far to the right in dramatic parliamentary elections. The dramatic elections to the EU Parliament on Thursday, according to early results and exit polls, take the continent in a new direction, with the far-right parties gaining most seats, although not winning a clear majority. I don't really know what that means. Belgium's prime minister is resigning. I'm going to skip past some of these. I guess that Benny Gantz that you brought up yesterday, Trudy, I think he has resigned. Yeah. Sydney has been battered by heavy rain, leading to flash floods and rescues. That is in Australia. There was an earthquake on the Pacific Antarctic Ridge, registering 6.2. Have you wondered why we're getting so many gray, hazy skies? Blame solar engineering, also known as solar radiation management. We know that they are corrupting and manipulating our weather and our skies. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Miss Trudy. They will mention that 4 hostages were rescued, but then they'll spend a lot of time talking about all of the Palestinians that died, but they don't differentiate between your everyday citizen and the terrorists. They make no differentiation there. Because, you know, why would they? You know, that their whole agenda is to put down Israel. Boy, I can't look at the camera because I look awful. 10,000 California fast food workers fired thanks to the $20 minimum wage. $20 per hour is the minimum wage in California now. Now, I realize that their cost of living is much larger than Kentucky's. However, this is, you know, this is another example of how things look good on paper, but in reality, they are devastating. Because now you have 10,000 people who lost their jobs. And don't, you know, those of you do not think, well, it's just fast food. That is still somebody's job. That is somebody who is trying to earn a living, even if it is just fast food. Somebody has to do it. But evidently, the fast food restaurants are not willing, nor are they capable of paying $20 an hour. I don't know who wrote this article. I haven't clicked on it, but it says 2 million Americans dead from the hokey pokey, and it all started with the Department of Defense. Over 2 million people in the U.S. have been killed by the hokey pokey, Dr. Bregan said. What has not been widely publicized, he said, is that Operation Warp Speed, we all remember that, was launched by the Department of Defense, not the President's office. So I didn't realize that. So those are the headlines for now. The world's a mess, to sum up. It seemed like I read somewhere that, they claim 37,000 Palestinians have died. But again, it does not separate the civilians from the soldiers, or whatever you want to call them. This anti-Semitism will continue until things, I think, this is just my own opinion, I think what will happen is this is just my opinion. The global conflict will escalate to extreme measures, and the church, the bride of Christ, will be taken out. And when all the dust settles, someone is going to come forth and say, okay, let's clean up the mess here. And that someone, of course, will be the man of lawlessness. He will come out of nowhere. I don't think he is anybody that people know, that the majority of people don't know, or that the majority of people know. I don't think he's someone that we would think of right now. I think he is unknown, and or unknown to most people, to the general population. And he will seem to have all the answers. He will seem like a savior. And for at least the first 3.5 years, and then he will declare himself God, and God's wrath will then really open up. There will be bad things before then, of course, with the seals being opened and so forth. But the bowls of wrath come later. I will see you later. You go to the doctor. And yes, it is all part of their evil designs. I see where there's somebody else watching. Thank you. You've come in on the end. You can go back to the beginning if you want to. We read Joshua 18, and it is more of the same old thing of me trying to stumble over the names of these cities. But you can go back and watch everything else. I'm going to let you all go, and remember, I will probably be on late tomorrow. So I will talk to you later, and thanks for being here. Bye-bye.